Well, good morning, beautiful people. What is the time? Today is getting ready for my yearly retreat that I've been running for the last 5-6 years with the boys, and we've got a lot to do. Got my feet on the ground.
Gonna lay all my troubles down.
Gonna lay all my troubles down. Let's check before we do anything else my sleep. So one thing that I've added into my routine over the last maybe 6-7 months is a Sleep 8 mattress. Now, if you've not heard of what this mattress is, it basically auto-regulates your temperature. So if you are too hot, it will cool you down. If you're too cold, it will warm you up. You can set it so it gets in at certain temperatures through the different stages of cycles through your sleep. So when you wake up, you can have it nice and warm and toasty if it's cold outside, or you can make it that it's nice and cool when you get into bed. So I normally, every night before bed, will have some form of magnesium bath, so I'm pretty hot when I get out. And then I can jump into bed and it's nice and cool. And then you can have it on this auto-regulate temperature. But the other component to the bed is it measures your biometrics, like an Oura Ring or a Fitbit or something like that. So you put this Sleep 8 mattress on when you start, and then you have to obviously sleep in it for a week, which you're going to do. And then you get all your metrics, and it basically just tells you where you're at with all of those things. Look, I started doing these men's retreats because it was something that I needed in my life. Something that I knew that I needed through my, let's just say, expansion journey, starting to understand myself more, was actually I needed more connection with men. And there might be some of you that resonate, but when you start doing this journey, you don't really know what you're doing. You're sort of going to cacao ceremonies and you go into these different therapy type things, and most of the time it's women in these places, and that was fine for a period of time in my life. But then after a certain time, I just wanted to, I had this deep desire to connect with men, and not just any type of men, men that also felt the same as me and wanted to go a little bit deeper. And I think it's something that we've lost as a culture. I mean, majority of most women, most of the time, will find it easier to connect with other women. There's more pools of women that get together and speak more than there are men, especially about things like shadows and vulnerability and opening up. It's just something that we don't have. So I started doing it because it was a need that I had. So I'd message all my mates together and I'd just be like, hey, I'm thinking of doing this retreat. And it started off as just like a mini silent retreat, meditation retreat, where we would just go and meditate, do yoga together. And then in this beautiful setting, just outside of Sydney, just in the middle of nature. I've been using the same place now for the last 5 years. And I just loved it. I just loved that connection every year, the start of every year around January. It's a good time of year weather-wise in Australia. Just a beautiful way to connect, and I always felt motivated for the rest of my year after doing that. And it's helped me over the years to connect deeper with the men in my life, which has given me a deeper sense of what true masculinity is to me, and it's given me a sense of connection that I've never really had before. The retreat over the last couple of years has changed quite a bit, so we don't do just meditation now or just stretching and yoga or movement. We're going into the shadows, the things that are holding us back, the stuff that is stored in our body, the trauma tension. We're doing things like breakthrough breathwork and somatic movement and exercises. Like, I can't pinpoint exactly what we do, we just feel it in the moment and just go with it and do it. But last year we had Jacob O'Neill come. Jacob O'Neill is, I personally feel, one of the most profound men's work coaches I've ever come across. And the way that he can articulate and get straight to the point and get straight to the core of what's going on for an individual is amazing. So this year we're doing the same thing again with Jacob, and we're gonna get stuck into it. Yeah, let's go. Jacob O'Neill, the main man in the house, what's going on?
Yeah, we're here.
Yes,
let's do this,
boy.
bro.
13 boys, 13 men. Let's go, let's do this. Come, join in. How are you, brother? I'm good. Nice to see you, man. Nice to see you. It's morning. Day one. Arrival yesterday was just like checking in, getting everyone connected, sharing circles. Done a couple of big processes as well. Didn't finish till about 10:30, 11. Today is going to be probably the big one. Some of the big processes we're going to do together. Every year I do this retreat, always makes the rest of my year extremely powerful. And my connection to the men around me and the way I communicate with them is moves that just a little bit deeper each time. So we've just come out of the hall where we've done a process around anti-vision and about creating the vision that we don't want and then creating the vision that we do want. How was your experience there, Benny?
Yeah, it was good, man. I'm really taking time to consider what my anti-vision is, what the cat is that's chasing me, and what I'm moving away from, and using that as leverage to move toward the thing that I want, and having both, the stick and the carrot, the anti-vision and the vision, the cat and the cheese, whatever we want to call it, but just like, it feels nice to know, to have that leverage, that extra leverage, just to be like, this is not the fucking path that I'm going to take.
What Benny's referring to there is the cat. When he's referring to that, they've done a study with rats where they tied a spring on the rat's tail in order to measure how far the distance and the power of which it moved in a direction. Now, when it had cheese in front of it, it moved by a distance of like 1. But then once it had a cat behind it, cat urine behind it, it moved up to 5 times more in the direction of away. But then when you had cheese in front of it and you had urine behind it, it doubled it by 20 times. So if we have a vision of what we're wanting to create and desire in our reality, and then we have the vision of what we're not wanting to create in our reality, it's like double whammy. And we just done a little process around that, about sitting in, feeling it, what does that anti-vision look like, and then going into a bit of a journaling process, and then actually standing up and sharing with the other brothers about what that anti-vision is, and then feeling what that feels like in the body, and then creating a scene for the vision. And one of the most important things I've ever done, or even done throughout all of this work, was creating the vision, but having it so in detail that I could feel that emotion in my body to such a level that I can't not smile with it. I can't not feel an emotion that is so pivotal that just pushes me in that direction of that cheese. So yeah, it was cool. I enjoyed it.
Very cool. Thank you, bro.
A couple of words, a sentence at most. Let the grandfather do what it does best and look after us. Look after our stories. Take them to where they need to go. And if there's a brother or a man in your life that isn't here, that you feel should be here, you can also just whisper their name to the Father. For every man that's here, there's 3 men that should be. And should's a dangerous word, but let's turn that should into a prayer and speak their name to the grandfather and get the grandfather to give them a nudge.
thank you for everything you are and everything you do. I love you, brother. Benny. Oh, how beautiful. That's really, really beautiful thing to read. Thank you.
Is it true? Can you absolutely know that it's true? It's not going to get to the core. The stuff that, like with the sacred rage ceremony, is going to help you get through to the core of these things that have been caused, and the other somatic work and other things that you do. But it's just going to help you during that.
This lavender is to represent my woman, Bianca. This is to represent my nanny Rose, who is deeply a part of my life. This is to represent my mother. This is to represent my sisters.
Come home to my love.
Cheers. Well, I'm back home now. It's Monday. Retreat finished on Sunday. And I just feel this sense of just groundedness and just relaxation in my body, and a bit sad at the same time. Like, I don't want it to end. That the time I had with the men was just so nice, you just sort of don't want to come back to real life. Men need this work. We all as men need this work. It is something that I desperately felt like I needed when I was growing up, that I didn't necessarily have, and stepping into that space really amplifies how important it is for men to be around other men. One of the biggest breakthroughs I found that I had was actually the resistance I get to sharing to other men. That actually when I do share to another man, there's this resistance in me, like I'm going to be judged or I'm going to be told to stop being soft, which is old conditioning that I had. But actually something, the more you do around the other men and the more you're all sharing together, the more freeing it becomes. And another thing, like the amount of shame that we all carry, that we've all done and we all have, it's just unbelievable. Jacob was an absolute fucking beast to have co-facilitate this with. I couldn't have asked for another man to do this with. It was just unbelievable. Jacob has a skill to be able to jump into the depths of these men and see what's on their heart. We went through a sacred rage process where we write a fuck you letter to someone, and then Jacob steps in as that person, and then all the men gather around, and Jacob starts going through the processes of getting to the anger and the rage that was stored in the system in that body at that time. And from a somatic perspective, every man is holding him, pulling him down. There's this tension going on in the body, which is great for anger release. And as you go through it more and more, you get to the underlying emotions that are stored there, which is normally grief, sadness and grief, but grief being the ultimate one. And then once we pass through grief, we can experience joy and just release from the body. It was a huge experience and something I'm definitely going to be tapping into and learning more from Jacob. he's just a fucking absolute giant in the men's work world, and I'm so grateful to know him personally and to call him a brother and a friend. The unexpected moments during the retreat was actually the amount of play that we all had as men. That we just wanted to play with each other, we wanted to wrestle, we wanted to muck around, we wanted to just be like boys and just joke and laugh and go around, walk around the retreat and like just stand around in a circle and huddle and just do guy things that we just don't normally do. It was just that's probably one of the biggest pieces that stay with me as well. It's like how big my heart opens when we get to just play with other men. I know if you know that you've been in this healing sort of world and you're jumping into this inner work, as a man, sometimes it can feel quite like you're on your own because you go to all these places and lots of women are there. You're in these cacao ceremonies with loads of women. You're in these therapy type scenarios with women. It's like there's a lot of more men coming into the space for sure, but the majority of the time it's women that step into this work. So when you're doing this around other men, it's just like, fuck yeah, it's just like next level. Beautiful, really. Just being able to like see how the process of these men that have been sharing and the lightness and brightness and the relaxation in their bodies and their shoulders after it's beautiful to see. You know, even me as a co-facilitator being able to support and hold, it's very healing for me. Like as men are sharing and going through these cathartic releases and just being able to share around other men, feel that from them. I resonate with some of their stories and their journeys, so I get to go into those depths with them. If there are any of you as men that want to are hesitant about doing this work, like I don't know if it's going to be for me, I would say find your local men's circle. You know, jump into it, jump into the work, because I wish I did more men's work at the beginning of my journey and it might have fast-tracked it a little, but it was all meant to be exactly how it was meant to be. Big love, see you soon, peace.